Hello there, welcome back to Proactive London. Joining us now is Fraser-Allen here from Albion Capital, discussing venture capital trust together today, as well as your recent investments and more in your pipeline in general a little bit later on. But a warm welcome to you, Will. How are you?
I'm very well, Katie. It's lovely to be back and looking forward to giving you an update on all that we've been doing.
Brilliant, good stuff. Let's get stuck in then. So venture capital trusts, they've now been around for sort of over a quarter of a century, an established option of support for SMEs here in the UK. How does this support the UK economy, particularly in the current climate, would you say?
Look, it's really interesting times we live in at the moment. We've got an economy that's bouncing back nicely, but we have a broader agenda, which is how do we turbocharge growth and how do we create highly skilled, well-paid jobs. And I think that's at the core of where the success of VCTs have been over that 25-year period, because we provide that important link in the ecosystem, which is funding to companies as they grow and scale. So the way I look at it is we've got a chunk of investment capability that we can use to grow those businesses. And there has never been a time when growth is more important as we try and build our way out and build our way back from the COVID crisis.
Mm-hmm. And what sort of track record have VCTs got in helping deliver growth, particularly in recent years, would you say, Will?
I think numbers actually tell the story in the best way. And if one looks at the last 5 years, just as an example, and then you look at the main constituents of the VCT industry, which is represented by the VCTA, so that's the top 11 managers, about 5.7 billion of funds. That group, of which Albion is a constituent part, has invested 1.95 billion, and that's across some 1,500 individual investments. So the VCs is now at a scale where we can be a very useful contributor to that growth that we're all looking for.
Mm. Albion is one of the most experienced VCT managers. How has your investment strategy, how has it changed, and what sort of new investments are you currently making, and how does the pipeline look overall, would you say, Will?
I think when we look at the activity we've been undertaking and our investment focus over the last 5, 6, 7 years, we're becoming increasingly focused on B2B software. And what does that mean? It's a big subject, software. It's an enormous global industry. But where we see the opportunity for our VCTs is really in 4 areas. One is health tech. So this is how can we deliver health tech more efficiently using technology. Never has that been more important. COVID has accelerated that shift to particularly digital health. We invest in fintech. How do we support businesses in financial services, improving their processes, their legacy systems? We invest in data. So data, the proliferation of data is well documented. Data is everywhere. As we develop the digital economy, that data increases and increases and increases. So we're looking for businesses which help businesses better manage that data, particularly in the area of data analytics. And then the last area is digital security. We are in a digital economy. That means there are more and more people out there looking to undermine through cyber attacks and the rest. So we're very interested in the whole area of digital security from a cyber perspective, but also more generally from a regulatory point of view. How do governments, how do companies regulate that data in a more effective way, and then use that data through analytics to make better decisions?
Mm-hmm. Let's talk ESG, because there has been much discussion recently about the importance of investing within an ESG framework. What's your approach to ESG?
I think it's great that ESG has been given the focus that it is today, but it's not a subject that's new to Albion. We've always believed that if we invest in businesses that have a positive societal impact and are kind to their environment, then that will give rise to sustainable long-term businesses and therefore grow value for our shareholders. what the recent focus on ESG has helped us do is to put a framework around that. And we are, for example, signatories to the UN PRI. And what that's meant is that we are now formally incorporating what came naturally to us into the way we invest, the way we choose investments, the way we due diligence those investments, and then how we work with them during the course of our investment to help them develop and refine their ESG strategy. And what I think the interesting opportunity is, and this will take time, is to collect data from our portfolio around those companies' ESG journey, and then use that data to further prove that thesis that by applying an ESG framework, you can actually deliver better long-term shareholder returns.
VCTs are often cited as being a good source of income. I understand that Albion has changed their approach to paying dividends. Could you maybe tell me about this approach, Albion VCTs, that is?
Sure, Katie. As you rightly observed, dividends are an important part of the return to investors in VCTs, not least of which is because those dividends are tax-free. So we've always taken the view that a steady income stream is important. But what we've done now is we've formalised a new dividend policy to make it more predictable. So we are now aiming to pay 5% of the underlying NAV, the underlying value of the fund, and that's effectively calculated twice a year, half a year and full years. And we effectively take 2.5% of the NAV at that time, so effectively 5% over the year. And the advantage of that, Katie, is two things. One, it ensures that when NAVs go up, then shareholders benefit more immediately. But also it's that point of predictability. At least people know how our approach to dividends. Clearly, this is a target, it's not a forecast, but it's very much our ambition, and it's inbuilt into the way we run our VCTs to try and to deliver that 5%.
Mm-hmm. A number of VCT managers, they're currently raising money. Are the Albion VCTs planning to raise money this year?
Yes, no, indeed. We're very much into the VCT fundraising season. Mm-hmm. And where we are in terms of our decision making around fundraising is that the 6 Albion VCTs have now announced that they do intend to fundraise this year. And the timing of that is that the plan is to launch the prospectus that supports the fundraising very early in January, as early in January as we can. The exact quantum we will raise is still under consideration, but we'll be looking to announce that in the next month or so. Meanwhile, those who are keen to become shareholders or existing shareholders who wish to further build their investment with us can expect the documentation to become available in the beginning of January.
Brilliant. It would be great to have a catch up with you then to talk in more detail about that, Will.
In case that'd be great, so I'll be able to talk you through the plans and how we intend to spend the money that we're raising.
Fantastic. Look forward to it. Will Fraser-Allen, thank you so much from Albion Capital today.
Casey, it's been a pleasure to talk to you.